next question.
Okay, great. First, thank you, everyone. I was wondering more about the initial research, right? Because I know when speaking to some VCs, there are certain things that you want to know, like what's the size of your fund, what's a sweet spot for your check size, how much dry powder do you have, things like that. Since Crunchbase has now started to charge like for virtually everything, VC Wiz went offline 2 weeks ago. Is there any tools that you can think of that you can like do some basic research on which investors might be a good fit for you? And yeah, so that we can go and search for them on Medium and put them in the IBM Watson personality.
I can take that. I don't have the mic, but if everyone can hear me.
We can pass the mic down. Yep.
Awesome. And I'm glad you asked the question because it allows me to just underscore what Nan said around, you know, really putting the time up front to pre-qualify investors that you're speaking to. So, you know, one of the ways that you could find out a bit about the group as far as are they a good fit for me is their website. Almost all VCs will have, you know, a selection of their portfolio companies. You know, that'll pretty much give you a good proxy for whether or not they're within range. What else? I would also say, even though Crunchbase and PitchBook are starting to get more restrictive on information, you know, things like TechCrunch and other publications are also sources of information. And I think it's really just, you know, triangulating between all those different sources to then get to a pretty good idea of what, you know, of whether a VC or another source of capital would be a good fit. But I think, again, stressing what Nan said, this isn't an exercise you're supposed to do with hundreds of VCs, right? I mean, at the end of the day, your round is going to be filled with, you know, 2 to 5 individuals or groups, let's say. So you know, you can see that for these groups that are the most qualified, putting that time up front to qualify that they're a fit is a good way to go.
So the 2 tools that I've used in the past, formds.com, formds.com. Whenever you're a venture fund or anyone raising money, you've got to file this IRS form called a Form D. It's public. This website goes up and scrapes all those and puts them in one place. Also searchable by geography. So there's a Miami section. Click the Miami section, and they're in reverse order by chronologically. Also, if you do know any VCs that have access to PitchBook, they can pull a list. They get maybe 200,000 rows a month or something like that, but enough to be helpful. Things to look out for on the websites of the VCs is when you're looking for these kind of TechCrunch articles and things, the word announces versus closed, very specific. A lot of funds have announced that they're going to open a $100 million fund, but then they only close $20 million of that $100 million fund. That means that's all they have. And the date is key as well. Understanding VC economics, probably a 10-year fund, probably deploying capital in the first 4 years. After that, it doesn't matter how much money they have under management. Just don't even bother seeing somebody after that. Okay.
Sorry, I'm going to add one more tool to that that's offline. I would also talk to founders that are venture-backed within your industry. Actually, I think that should be add the most weight to it because you're going to get insights that are not online. You're going to get insights on what it's like to be a portfolio company, what it's like to work with this investor day in and day out. And that adds a lot of value.
Gracias.